Is it concerning Wirtz is doing well for Germany? No. Why would that be concerning to me? I get where you're asking, like, is it concerning he's doing well for Germany and not for Liverpool? But he didn't do well the other day. The German media were having a pop at him after the recent performance. So I'm happy to see him doing well. You know, confidence breeds confidence. So if he's doing well over there, hopefully he can carry that back into his Liverpool career. Wirtz does well everywhere except Liverpool. That's just not true, though. Your name's no like Eli, and there you are spreading a falsehood. Look at the media reports about Wirtz's performance in the last international game for Germany a few days ago. He wasn't pulling up any trees there, and he wasn't getting much credit. Actually, I did a segment on it on the channel here, going through some of the reaction from the media in Germany, and it wasn't great. Bournemouth may be powerless to prevent Antoine Semenyo's sale in January because his new contract includes a £65 million release clause. I feel like Liverpool are now thinking it's time to look past Salah. And I don't mean that disrespectfully, because Salah still has a role to play. They realise now that they don't have six forwards. The manager, for whatever reason, still won't play Chiesa, and Rio, he isn't ready yet, so he shouldn't be playing week in and week out. He should be brought in over the course of the next 18 months, gradually, bit by bit. With that, and with Salah being away, and Salah's form this season, although he's still a highest scorer, I think the club are starting to realise, yeah, maybe now we do need to start to look to the future. And I want to read you through something John Aldridge said. He said, what we don't see enough of in the modern game is wingers who decide to switch during matches aren't quite working out. And you can read this piece on The Echo. He always writes an opinion piece there every couple of weeks on The Echo. So he said, what we don't see enough of in the modern game is wingers who decide to switch during matches if things aren't quite working out. Everybody is too robotic and under too many instructions to stick precisely to the game plan. In my day, if a winger was having a tough time or being bullied, he would swap with his teammate on the other side, and it gives the defender something new and fresh to worry about, and the changeover happens. I'm sure Salah can also operate centrally, but could somebody like Hugo Ekitike have moved to the right at the Etihad? Cody Gakpo could have been given a go there at times, maybe. It's all about fitting the pieces into the puzzle in an attacking sense. Slot has the players to tear teams to shreds on any given day, but it is about making sure he gets the combinations right, not only game to game, but also in game. And the robotic thing that Aldo spoke about there, now he didn't label that at Arne Slot, but I feel that the style of football we play under Arne Slot is a bit robotic. And is a little bit like, I don't know how else to phrase it, so I'm going to say football by numbers, like paint by numbers. It is all strategic movements, do this, then lead this pattern to that pattern. And I don't think under Arne Slot there is enough room for expression, self-expression, freedom. We talked about Wirtz getting the best out of him. What do you do to do that? Well, you probably have to let him roam. You probably have to let him find the pockets of space naturally. And one of the things about the wingers, the points he makes about not swapping sides, I 100% agree on. We've seen this with Mane and Salah. They did swap occasionally during the early days under Jurgen Klopp. You would see them popping over all over the pitch. And it gives the defender something to think about. We are very regimented under Arne. And it's one asset of the way we play, or facet, of the way we play that I don't really like. I find it a little bit, sometimes boring, for want of a better word. I don't know if you guys agree with me or not, but it doesn't feel like there's freedom or fluidity at times to the way we attack. It's far more regimented. It's far more preconceived. Is probably a good idea. Brad said, do we see Liverpool getting back into a rhythm? I'm unsure at this rate, mate. I'm unsure. I'm hopeful, Brad. I'm hopeful. But, you know, that Manchester City game, that gave me some more concern. And it's not because we lost. It's the way we lost. And the way we just didn't really look at it in the game. We looked so different. But maybe that was to do with the way they set up. But that also concerns me. Because I didn't see enough adjustments from the manager quickly enough to... Like, it's very clear a couple of things. That Haaland was going to be sitting on Canade. That he was going to be making sure if he's to have a battle with one of our central defenders, it's going to be Canade. And also, they put 2-3 men out to make sure that Salah was, one, being roughed up a little bit and was given no space. And I would have liked to have seen Arne see this quicker and make some tweaks and changes to it. Because if there's one thing we've all praised Arne for, especially last season, was that in-game management. Didn't see enough of that at the Etihad. So that's what's concerning me about, are we getting back into a rhythm? Because I don't know that they know still what everybody's best roles are, the best way to set up. I feel like he's still finding that out or figuring it out. L Stew 86 said, well, it's Dutch football basically. You're right though, not always best to watch, but sweet when it works. Definitely. Look, I can understand why he's trying to do it. Everyone knows the roles, everybody does this. But sometimes, especially when you come up against teams that play with a low block, I think that bit of freedom is what's needed. And you see it with us when it gets to desperation stage and the manager starts bringing on more attacking players. At that point, they can't really have hard and fast positions. They've got to kind of just find the areas that they can do damage in. And I wish in attack we could do that a little bit sooner. And we spoke yesterday about the idea of maybe playing with a deeper line too. And I think that might give a bit more confidence that, yes, if we are turning over possession, that we have enough numbers and bodies back that we can mop it up. Whereas now, and something I've said year on year on the channel, all the way back to the Jurgen Klopp days, is we're at our most vulnerable in possession in the opponent's half. Not when they're in possession. It's when we turn over the ball that we get punished. On holiday, I met a Dutchman who supports Dortmund because he doesn't like Dutch football. So, I think just to say Dutch football is kind of stereotypical, but I understand what he means. You know, there are aspects of the way Arne wants us to play that I like, but there are other aspects of it that I find too monotonous and boring. And at the minute, I don't know what he's looking to do or what style he's looking to play because we feel a bit all over the shop at the minute. I've absolutely no confidence that Liverpool beat Forest at the weekend, said Stevie Boy. To give you my answer, I'm going to have to kind of go back in time a little bit. If this was happening in the second week after the international break, I'd feel a lot more confident. The fact that this is our first game back after the international break always concerns me because we seem, in my memory at least, Stevie Boy, we seem lethargic after an international break. You know, United game, we weren't at it, wasn't good enough, and we lost after the international break. So I'm not expecting it to be vintage, but we know what they're going to do. We know that they're going to sit deep with Sean Dyche. We know they're going to defend with a low block. And we know they're going to try to force things from set pieces or a counter-attack. So you would hope that we now know it's time to go all out from the start. In these type of games for me, it's pivotal to get an early goal. If you don't get a goal in the first 45 minutes, it causes never-ending issues. Because you feel it inside the stadium, they grow in confidence as they sit back. Every set piece becomes a little bit more important. And we know they're going to be coming with long throw-ins. We know that they're going to be looking to win corners, free kicks. So you want a referee who's strong. You want no silly fouls, no giveaway free kicks. So you want Canade to be un-Canade-like in some situations, and you want them to be a little bit more standoffish, not too touch-tight to people, because they're going to be looking for it, because they know that's the best chance. Whereas if we can go there and score an early goal, it'll negate a lot of everything they're trying to do. Easier said than done, I know, but that's why it's important to have a fast start. So to get all the way back to the confidence that we beat Forest, well, we should feel like we owe them one after last season when they came and beat us at Anfield. So you would hope that that gets the boys up. Also, these are professional footballers being paid a lot of money and they aren't showing how good they are enough this season. So you hope for a reaction, you expect a reaction, but I don't think any of us could say with 100% confidence that we're going to show up and dismantle Forest. We're all just hopeful. Forest is a very good test. They want to do what we had trouble. They want to do what we've had trouble with defending. Yeah, they will sit back. They will defend. They will take their set pieces. They will have their routines. They will be going for long throw-ins. They will be physical, and from memory, they're quite a tall team as well. You know, with Anderson in that midfield as well. They're going to be no mugs. It's going to be a very tough game, but it's at Anfield. We're Liverpool. We're filled full of star players. You would think we should have enough, but then again, we would have thought that last season.